Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft Vanilla server. Mesified, that's the word you were expecting to hear. Vanilla server, felt like saying it because I've been playing so much modded. I've logged on here and I am absolutely pumped to get going with some vanilla Minecraft. I'm here in the hub and I noticed this fella hanging out down here. You can't see his awesome shield. There we go. Check it out on that side. Dragon head and shield. Is that a wither skeleton as well? That is the most badass mob I have ever seen. I wish it wasn't down there. I feel like I want to stand next to it, but be safe enough that it's not going to be able to kill me, you know what I mean? There are some other special mobs down here. Zombie with a shovel. That might not actually be a derp delivery mob, which is what that guy is. That might just be a zombie who decided to spawn in here. Fella in gold armor. Creepers. Zombie villagers. Oh, they won't despawn. Obviously, like, the creeper doesn't spawn in the nether, does it? So you might look at it and just think, oh, it's a regular old mob. There's a witch down there. Yeah, Tango and Impulse have been at work here, putting all sorts of different mobs into this area. Amazing stuff. It looks extremely cool. We're going to head through into the Brown District. What I want to do in today's episode is do lots of things. Like, I want to go everywhere, and I want to do tons of little bits and bobs. That's just my plan. I want to see the place, you know, move around. So we're going to start off with a really boring and tedious task. It'll be boring for me, but amazing for you because of the magic of editing. In a moment. Oh, that's been ripped out. Yeah. Of course, the translocation doesn't work anymore, so now you just have to walk out like that. Yeah, we need to do something proper for that, don't we? But I'm going to restock the golden carrot shop because this thing is probably sold out by now. Let's see how many golden carrots are actually left. That's gold that I put there. Yes, no one has brought any since I was last here. So we're down to 8 stacks of golden carrots. I've just noticed I've got no food. Where did my food go? There's like none here. Well, I'm buying a stack of golden carrots then. There we go. Right, 1 stack of golden carrots for me. Look at that, we just made a diamond. Amazing. Made a sale already. Yeah, we've got to stock this place up. Oh, and this is going to make it so much easier because we can put down shulker boxes and put all the golden carrots in them. Amazing. And I've just noticed this amazing shop. This was made by Mumbo Jumbo. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. It's the Snot Shop, and guess what? It sells slime balls. And as amazing as this looks, someone should have told Mumbo that slime balls are free on the server. So let's go in here and see if he's actually made any sales. Not surprising, to be honest. 2 sales, I believe, that is. 1 diamond per stack. Yeah, even when things are free, you can still put a price on it and people will pay for it. Well, this place has been raided of what little gold was left. That's all the golden carrots that I've been able to craft, and I was prepared to fully stock up the shop. But it doesn't make sense to AFK right now. Now's the time for me to play the game, not to stand here and do other things. So I'll have to wait for another opportunity to do some AFKing here. I did want to check on the farm and make sure it's okay though. It's kind of hard to see from up here, and the thing should be running, and it's not, which means... Oh no, it is running. Okay, excellent. I tell you what, I need to be able to get back up here after. We could do that with ender pearls, which seem to have misplaced. Aha, I've put them in here. Okay. Okay, this is promising. Looks like all sides are absolutely fine. Sometimes when I come up here, the ice gets stuck to the slime blocks, so no one else has been using this farm, which is what you'd expect, because I've never really made it public, which is something I think we're about to change. I was going to hold down forward, then I wasn't sure if the ender pearl was going to land up there. Let's try that again, and let's watch out for our hearts here. So we really want to just aim forward a little bit more, and then, yes, just like that. Amazing. And this is the little switch on the way up and down that you need to flick. So now that we do that, it means the farm's going to be turned off, and when the chunks load and unload, this thing won't get broken. But if we make this public, it is probably going to happen quite a lot, right? And walking through the hub here, our beautiful Nether hub, I have spotted something very interesting. Has a ghast spawned up there? I can see a ghast in the little storage room that we made. Let's go and check this out. Got to be careful though, we don't want it shooting at us and blowing stuff up. That's glass. Oh, okay. So there's glass here. Is that thing like in a minecart? It doesn't look like it because it's hovering off the ground a little bit. So glass has been placed on that side. What about this one? No, there's no glass over here. Hi. Oh, no, don't do that. Oh, we need to have a closer look at this chap. Okay, let's throw an ender pearl up here. And Yeah, it's just spawned in there. What's really interesting is that it's not moving around, and it looks like it's got space to do so, but I guess it's sort of just stuck in the middle of the room there. Well, that is something I didn't expect to see today. A very rare moment where a ghast spawns in that tiny little storage room. So here we go. The shop will be stocked up to the best of my ability at this moment in time. This will probably last a while, actually. I've noticed that sales have slowed down a little bit. Maybe they're not quite as popular as they used to be. Let's pick this thing back up. We could also just store the nuggets in there as well. So we're now going to go back to the Nether Hub, and what we're going to do at the beginning of this episode is open up our gold farm to the public. It's going to be available for anyone to use. So the way to get to the gold farm is a rickety old staircase that you start at back here. This is kind of ridiculous, but you got this bit, then you bump your head into that, jump around over here, and then navigate through a maze of awkwardness, and it's just up there. So what we're going to do is build a staircase, and this thing is going to be mostly grey. It's not going to be terribly exciting to look at, but there will be some gold in there as well to indicate that it is, you know, to get you to the gold farm. And then in here I've got all our supplies, and I love this. I can just think ahead about what we need and then chuck all of the things into the box. So the staircase design we're going to use will be 2 wide, and it's going to go outwards by 2 blocks as well. That's where we have the detail and the other blocks. So we've got to be considerate that there are these cyan blocks here. So 1 and 2 means we need to go over by 2 more blocks, and then that's when the staircase is going to turn over to that side. So let's just put in a little 2 by 2 here. It's going to go up in a straight line, like through this space. Alright, so we got a nice clean path that doesn't interfere with anything else, leading all the way up here, and then straight to the gold farm like that. Not too much of a detour, really. Like, it would have been ideal if these steps had come up to this point, but that's hardly anything. It's nice and quick to whiz around, and we're in range at the speed beacon. So with that done, what's going on there? Glitching into a block or something. With that done, now we can focus on the design, which, as I said before, is going to be grey. It's going to be very simple and something that I can throw together quite quickly. So don't be alarmed, this isn't going to be a work of art. This is the design that I've had in mind. You can see we've got our gold blocks here. And I've alternated them with iron because, believe it or not, I'm actually running out of gold. I haven't AFK'd up there for quite a while now. But you may notice this is very grey and gloomy, and the grey isn't going to go away, but we are going to get rid of the gloom with a little bit of light. And we're going to put end rods up here. Now, I tried many different things, but end rods seem to be the best way to go, and they kind of look a lot better when you're coming up the staircase because you don't see the purple that we got right here. But then around the end rod we're going to surround this with stone bricks, so we will have them on this side, then coming all the way across like that and above, and then it means when you walk up you just see a little bit of the end rod and it looks really cool. So that's the plan for that bit. Now when we get to these corners up the top here, you can see it just sort of, well, it wouldn't really work on the corner, the design, right? So this is where we're going to put in some andesite. We're going to have an andesite pillar to break it up. The design will then start again here. There'll be another andesite pillar at the top, and then we'll do something slightly different in this section. So the same thing is going to happen all the way down the bottom here. We're going to have an andesite pillar, I believe, just here, coming up like that, and then this bottom bit is going to be entirely different because obviously we've got andesite here as well. In fact, it's probably just going to be plain andesite, maybe a couple of gold blocks leading into this first section. So we're getting to the last section now. All that's really needed is a sign saying please turn the farm off and on. No, on and then off. On when you're going up and off when you're coming down. And don't forget to do that. And then instructions on where to find the lever as well. That will be useful because otherwise I'm going to have to go up there and fix it all the time. So this is the staircase, pretty much finished. It's really narrow and not too great, to be fair, because it's very, very grey. Also, I wanted to sort of highlight that this was going to take you to the gold farm. The best I could do is put gold blocks down here. If we put them in these spots, you know, those are shared with the walls on either side. But it might not look too bad. Let's give it a try. There's also a couple of gold blocks on the inside there. I feel like we'll leave it like that for a while and we'll see what people think about it. But it will probably catch your eye now from over here. If you move it around, it's like, oh, gold. What's going on over there? Then we can have a sign saying this way to the gold farm, you know? This is about as good as I can get. Please read, to use the gold farm, stand on the trapdoor and aggravate a pigman. On the way up to the farm, look for a lever in the minecart elevator. You must toggle it when arriving and leaving the farm. To be fair, the lever isn't really in the best of positions, but I hope people understand. They just got to look for it, and then when they see it, turn to the side and toggle it. So Hermits, if you're watching, I need you to do that, otherwise it breaks the farm when the chunks are unloaded, which is unfortunate. But here is the top of the design, going with the gold and the iron. Didn't I do that the other way? No, I did it gold and iron at each of these, yes. And so there we go, we built a nice little tunnel to the gold farm, and we've opened it to the public. So I've got to ask all of you a question right now. What do you think we should do with all of this epic loot that we got from the end cities? I have been wondering what to do with this, because they're probably going to end up sitting in a chest like the rest of my diamond armor. What we could possibly do is open up a shop, and my thinking here is that, well, that right there is pretty good. A lot of these ones actually have really good enchantments on, but some of them don't have so good enchantments like this one right here, and we could probably sell them to the other hermits. Now, if they don't have the best enchantments that you're looking for on them, we could still sell them at less than it costs to craft the item, right? Because if you want to make your own, you've still got to spend your diamonds, and that way we can make a shop that sells cheap diamond armor, and I reckon actually it could probably be quite profitable. So leave a comment, let me know if you think that's a good idea. If you've got any other ideas of what to do with that stuff, of course leave a comment down below. The next order of business is to set up our business, which is actually not a business. I'm making a hash of this one, aren't I? Ooh, look at the dollar sign behind us. Ah, it's like you can see it from either angle that way. Does that make sense? Anyway, back to the llamas, which are cute and adorable. Look at these fellas hanging out here. Bunch of derps. We are, of course, setting up the llama rama. That's what I've decided we're going to call it. It's not a shop, though. It's going to be a service. So I'm going to come over here. And wait a minute. This guy... What's happened here? He's got a carpet on him. Hey, how do I see what's in your inventory? Right there, he's got a brown carpet on him. Cool. That was something else I was going to do, actually. I completely forgot about that. We will have to come back over here and give each of these a unique carpet, which will be part of the service I'm going to provide. So as I was saying, what I want to do is not run a shop, but provide a service. And is it me, or have they all sort of clustered into little groups? A group over there, group over here, big one over there, and then this space is very empty. This guy's all alone. He needs some company. How you doing? Anyway, we need to let people know where this is, as if they didn't already, by the field of llamas and the big llama head. We're going to be building a sign over here, and I think the best way to do that is with some music. Let me get a good look at that. Yes, that's a much better view. Llama-rama, that's pretty cool. I spent quite some time fussing over how big I wanted to make this thing. And I would have liked to have put the words like in a diagonal like that. Do you see how the letters slowly slope upwards? Would have been nice to go across the whole way, but it would be too wide. And so the compromise was to make it quite tall. And the R happens to line up with that pillar, so you can sort of still see that it's an R. That's really cool, but we got to check that out from other places, because as always these things can potentially be a bit of an eyesore, and so we're definitely not finished here. By the way, this here looks gorgeous. Little garden outside the Hermity Bank of Vaultiness, and if I just stand over here you'll see what I was saying earlier about the S. You can see that it's an S from that angle. If you catch it on the diagonal though, you can see that there's two of them. Very cool stuff. And oh yes, this reminds me. Aha! So Cleo did a build a while back. Hey, come back here, Creeper. Don't be creeping up on me later on. We're taking care of you now. She did a build called the House of Pain and Sadness. An amusing name, I thought. And I left a bit of a sarky comment saying, when will you build the Garden of Eternal Torment? And it turns out that Cleo is building the Garden of Eternal Torment, and it is right here. And I love this. There is blood seeping out of the tower, dripping down into a pool of it down here. Dirty netherwart block right there. And around the front here, there's some awesome mushrooms, and then green slime trees. These are fantastic, right? I like them a lot. There's some lime glass, there's some slime blocks in there. Really, really cool stuff. And this is the Garden of Eternal Torment. I feel that's a bit of a sinister name, but I'm glad that my suggestion was taken seriously. Anyway, we need to get over to the Elytra launcher so we can fly around and see our sign from up in the sky. Boy oh boy, is this server beautiful. Look at Ren's area here. Absolutely gorgeous. This is probably the most important place to look at it. You can see the sign through the trees, and I think that's something we're going to be able to deal with no problem. If we land ourselves down over here, let's see what it looks like from this bit. Yeah, not the most impressive of sights, and I think we can make it look real good by adding like support beams and stuff behind it, and then putting down some leaves and vines and make it feel a little bit overgrown. And then from these other angles it won't be so intrusive. I also love the llama face on the end there. Let's just quickly throw a pearl high over there, literally just over there. Yeah, that looks really cool from this angle. I do like it. By the way, I was recording a moment ago, just done some editing. I said Llama-rama. You'll probably hear me do that. I'm terrible with pronunciations. Many of you have picked up on this. Llama-rama, Llama-rama, I'll probably switch back and forth between the two. But while we were flying around in the sky, I noticed something over here. A little building has popped up. A little quartz building, which sticks out like a sore thumb over here, to be fair. Let's have a look at it. What is this? It's a gorgeous building, though. I like the build. Do you get busy and forget that holiday dinner? Get your free holiday dinner ingredients here. Holiday dinner, this sounds interesting. Brought to you by the cornucopia of excellent goods at low prices. Probably butchered that, haven't I? Was this free? Did it say free? Get your free holiday dinner. I don't mind if I do. What do I fancy? I think I'm going to have... How about some meat and... What is this? Refrigerated fruitcake. I'm going to have me some meat and potatoes. Something is happening over at my base. I just looked at Twitter and Scar has gone live. He's doing some streaming, working on my base, so I'm coming over here to check it out. This is really cool. I'll tell you what I really love, watching the other Hermit stream when I'm on the server as well. That is always a treat. And check it out. How do I say hello? Like this. Hi, Scar. It's looking good, my friends. He's going to build a whole row of these trees. Can you see the little lapis markers? He's going to be building them going over those hills and down to the end there, and it's going to be one of the finishing touches on our exterior of our base. And I cannot wait to see what it looks like when it's finished. Oh my goodness me, did Scar do a fantastic job with these trees. He is the master of landscaping and of building trees as well. These are absolutely gorgeous. I got some ender pearls. I'm going to throw them on the roof and have a look from up there as well. But check it out. You know, I was looking at this big old heap of rock right here and thinking, once he's put the trees on them, we'll terraform them a little bit. But actually, that's the finishing touch. The trees are what we needed, and they look gorgeous here. They're kind of like the border of my area. And everything on the outside here is kind of done. We're in a finished state. And over here you will notice things look a little bit different. That's because I had to tidy up the rest of the building. I'd neglected to put in these little wells down the side here. They've been thrown in because the clay used to go all the way up to the window and it would look kind of ugly from the inside, right? Then around this side, there used to be loads of McDonald's yellow clay everywhere, and now it's just been, you know, replaced with lots of dirt, podzol, and coarse dirt as well, and then some of that spreads out a little bit, so it looks nice and organic, which is really cool. Let's throw an ender pearl up there. Bam! Here we go. Yeah, the trees look gorgeous, don't they? From every angle, they just look pleasing to the eye, which is really cool. So Scar's done an amazing job right there. Scar, if you're watching, thank you so much. This is brilliant. The finishing touch of my base. It looks gorgeous. Really does. And let's head down here because I got something else to show you as well. By the way, the witch farm, which we fixed a couple of episodes ago, is working, and Mumbo has been AFK overnight there for ages. And check it out, we've got loads and loads of drops. All of this came from the witch farm, so it is working once again like a charm, which is fantastic. And anyway, down here, do you remember how this room looked before? It had these big holes in it with little bits of glowstone around it. Well, I've come down here and we finished this off during a stream. You can see we've got this little nice colourful checkered carpet design down here. I feel like the red pops out a bit, but the fact that we got red over there to match the potion area kind of makes it work over here as well. And another little thing that I did is I put down some glowstone with brown carpets on top. It does pop out a little bit, but this area was actually quite dark, and I think mobs were spawning in there, which means the first level, the underside of our base, is done. And in the future, we'll be moving down here and building some more farms and contraptions and stuff in this area as well. I decided to grow these trees in the worst of places because it's spoiling our view of the sign behind me. Yeah, we can sort of see a bit more of it now. So, you can see a whole bunch of torches on the back there. That's because this thing needs to be lit up. It needs to be bright and luminous from the front side, and the best way to do that is to spam it with torches. So, at night time or when it's dark, you know, it looks pretty good. And, oh yeah, that was it. I was going to use glowstone or sea lanterns originally. So I brought some sea lanterns over with me. That would look really ugly from the other side. We have to keep this looking reasonable. So I've gone for wood on the backside. So we've got these big wooden support beams going up. They're not equally measured. They're just sort of a little bit organic, which I think looks better. And then we've got loads of fence posts that kind of attach themselves to the sign. I chose that, of course, because it's wooden. It looks alright. And most importantly, the light can shine through, which is what we're trying to do here. So I think it looks okay, a little bit odd at the moment, but what I'm hoping to do is to throw down tons of leaves over all of this. Now, the general rule when other people do it seems to be that they just throw leaves down and things look better. When I do it, I'm really unsure, so I'm hoping for the best. But we need to drape leaves around the base here and also around the fence post areas as well. And I'm going to try and drape a lot. I really want this thing to look overgrown from the back so we can sort of hide what we've done here. Please remember that we're entering new territory here. I'm kind of terrified of what other people will think about this, because I am not a leaf placer. When I place leaves, I'm not too sure what they're doing. And they're floating all over this thing at the back here. And I think maybe the problem is that I need to lay them down thicker so that they have more of an effect, but it kind of feels weird to have them sort of falling off the edge there. I think thicker is the way to go. Okay, more leaves. As many leaves as I can muster, and at this point it definitely looks overgrown, it looks kind of crazy. I think it'll work. I think when you're flying about, you're not going to get such of an eyesore feel. Well, it'll still stick out, but at least it'll be green and overgrown, and I think that's good. And do you know what I need to do? I probably need to put, yeah, a little bit more on the front side as well. Although that's the only exposed bit, that's really well covered. It just kind of occurred to me, I've been focusing on the back, and at the front, you would probably want some in front of the wood, like this. Oh, apparently I have come round here a little bit. Yeah, a spot like that. Anyway, let's take to the skies, and let's have a look from up above. Oh, thank goodness for that. That is kind of what I want. It's just a mess from the backside, and that's a good thing, because when it's a mess, it's harder to focus on, doesn't pop out as much. The trees are in front of it. And, oh, that's good. That's really good, actually. It served its purpose. It's done the job. I'm happy. Let's land on top of this beautiful building over here. Lamarama. That's the sign done. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I also said at the beginning of this episode that I wanted to get around the server for a bit and do lots of different things in different places. So, we're done with this one for now. Oh, I really don't feel so good right now. It's that refrigerated fruitcake. I've eaten too much of it. I'm going to throw this last slice away. Jeez, I'm going to go back to my potatoes. Oh, almost down to half a heart there. Oh, this reminds me, this area has been renovated by none other than Mr. Python GB. I like this. Very gardeny around here. Very gardeny. And there's some big spruce trees as well. This is pretty cool. I like it. Yeah, he mentioned this, and I wanted to come over here and check it out. It's really, really nice. It's lovely. Very, very inclusive feeling, you know. Lots of trees around you, lots of wildlife. We have the expo shop on our side here, which is, I'm sad to say, going to go away. And that's actually what we're going to do right here. Me and Ren will team up again in the future to finish off Logwarts, which we thought we did last episode. Then we realised that actually we've got to build the entrance to it, which means this thing is going to go. Now I know there's going to be some sad faces about this thing leaving, and I kind of understand. Like, it feels like it should stay here because it's been here since day one, but things change. That's life, you know. Change is the only thing you can ever count on happening, and change is going to happen right here. We're going to tear it down, and we're going to have a beautiful entrance to our Logwarts place. Yep, this is definitely for the best. That thing was right in the way. When you look over here, you can clearly see that to have a path come up here, we're going to have to dig back all of this clay. And now we've got all of the space to do that. I reckon we'll be pushing the path itself probably back to somewhere around here as well. So there'll just be this steady slope going all the way down to the entrance to Logwarts. And it's going to be really cool. And what we'll probably end up doing is extending the wildlife that we've now got situated here. So we'll bring a little bit of the grass out to the sides and plop down a few more trees as well. For now though, I'm going to leave these chests here. Maybe there'll be a couple more customers before we finally tear this apart. So next up, there was another little job that I noticed needed doing. You know, you spend a lot of time walking around this server and you realise there's all these little things here and there that need tidying and cleaning up. I think the way that this right here looks is just not good enough. And this is the White District, if you haven't seen it before. This is our sort of municipal district. Is that the right word? I think that's the word that we used. And TFC has come over here and built a Christmas tree, which looks amazing. I like the beacon at the top as well, just noticed that. This thing is really cool, and he's made the grass here nice and Christmassy. The idea was to make it very clean and upkept, so to speak, and I think it certainly does that. I think Thulsa's got the better idea here, though, with the occasional leaves thrown in as well. But anyway, on the edge over there, it just don't look right to me. I keep walking past it and thinking that it ain't so good, and I think what we need to do is throw down some wood. And I was about to say, oh, I've forgotten to bring the wood with me, but no, we have an endless supply of materials inside our ender chest. Absolutely amazing. I reckon what will look best is alternating acacia and what were the other blocks I decided on? I figured this all out and then I come over here all eager to build and unprepared apparently. So this right here is kind of what I wanted to go with, having andesite and cobblestone stairs like that alternating with the acacia. Notice how there's no real structure to how these are laid out from one to the next. I like that. It's good to get away from that kind of neatness sometimes. And I tell you what, another thing you always got to do with the wood is come down here and check for bits like this where it just needs to go a little bit lower. I always think it makes it look good if you make sure that the wood or whatever's supporting your building goes like all the way down. And there's a little opening here, and I was a little bit worried that it might lead into a big cave full of bad things, but Wells Knight and Joe Hills are over here, and they actually lit up this entire thing. And I've got to say, if you look at this space and your brain is ticking over, you've got some ideas for something that could be built in here, let me know. I just look at it and I think something has to be done with this area. It's extremely cool. It's now got lots of torches and fire in it though. But yeah, I really like this area. It's just not quite what you expect. Looking pretty good from over here. Yeah, that'll work just fine. We'll extend that going all the way over to that side. And then in this direction, some works needs doing as well, because there's some floating McDonald's clay with the path just floating on top of it. It doesn't look very good, does it? Yes, we've got to do something about that as well. One stray purple sheep. Where have you come from, buddy? Oh, he doesn't want to talk to me. I just noticed there was a purple sheep wandering around. Well, anyway, a job well done, I'd say. You can see our little structure over here going all the way across there, and I even tidied up that little bit. You probably wouldn't have noticed it before, but it was a bit messy. You probably couldn't see it from down here. So things have been tidied up on this side of the green district? The White District. And we're going to head back to Brown next. Today I'm just being the handyman going around and fixing things, and there's something that needs fixing in the Brown District. Oh, let's check for some diamonds while we're 21. Don't mind if I do. Bad ender pearl throw turned into good ender pearl throw. I've got a prediction to make that you are going to get very sick of hearing about shulker boxes before long, because I just cannot get over how amazing it is to plop down your ender chest and to have so many items available. I've got loads of wood in here, and I think birch wood is what we're going to need for this next bit. Now my inventory is full, so let's chuck a few things in there. Temporarily, I will organise my box, don't you worry about it. So, this has happened, these have been opened up, and I think what would be best to do is to just turn this into a proper staircase. So we're going to get rid of the redstone, or probably just the pressure plate and leave everything else where it is. And then just break a block here, and have our little staircase go up like that. So now I'm just wondering, do we want to put like a trim around the outside here, make it look a little bit nicer? And with that, we're done. Yes, this is finished. This is how it's going to look. Not the best thing ever. The weird thing about it is that when you walk out of here, if you're walking in a straight line, you're sort of going to drop down into it, which is okay because you don't take damage, but it's kind of an odd position to have this now. It would be better if it were over to one side. So you're probably going to want to see how I've done each of them, and they're not terribly exciting because they're all kind of the same. However, on this side, when you come up, I've sort of extended this a little bit so it matches with the slabs that we have there, and that's pretty much the same deal on the other side. So let's walk over there. That one's not too interesting either. So a few extra planks here just to sort of match up with where it steps up a little bit. And there was more I was going to do this episode, but I've just noticed the time, so we're going to have to wrap things up there. I want to say thank you as always for watching, and if you've enjoyed the video, leave a like. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.